Amara thought her best friend's wedding would be a celebration of love, until one drunken joke, one unexpected guest, and one betrayal shattered everything she believed about trust, loyalty, and the man she married. Some wounds cut deeper than lies, and some friends are the real enemy. Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. The wedding that changed everything. Amara burst into the apartment eagerly, her face alight with excitement. Noah, the wedding date has been set. We can plan everything for June, and we'll even have time to attend the wedding before our vacation, she exclaimed. Noah looked up from his book, listening to his wife's news. However, he didn't share Amara's enthusiasm. Secretly, he had hoped they could avoid the wedding altogether. It wasn't the groom, Elijah, a good-natured guy with a great sense of humor, that bothered him. It was the bride-to-be, Zara, Amara's best friend, who stirred a knot of tension in his chest. Zara had never hidden her dislike for Noah and had even subtly tried to dissuade Amara from marrying him, constantly making comparisons to other men. Noah found it exhausting, and the thought of spending more time around Zara made him weary. Amara, oblivious to her husband's reluctance, bubbled with joy, proudly announcing that she had been chosen as a witness at the wedding. Clearly, nothing was going to dissuade her. Noah sighed inwardly, wondering how Zara would behave this time around. The wedding preparations kicked off slowly, with Amara and Zara spending hours at the salon, picking out dresses, jewelry, and decor. Amara dove into the planning with her usual enthusiasm, her experience from organizing her own wedding shining through. Zara had placed full trust in Amara to handle all the details. Soon, Zara and Elijah invited Amara and Noah to a countryside barbecue to meet some of the other wedding guests. Not everyone could attend, but about 10 people gathered at their charming home. Upon arrival, Zara rushed toward Amara, embracing her tightly and exclaiming how happy she was to see her. Noah, however, greeted everyone with a detached hello, unable to mask his discomfort. Inside, the party buzzed with laughter and chatter. Noah recognized most of the guests, except for one, a young man wearing a red hoodie. Zara introduced him as Leo, a friend from Elijah's side, who would also serve as a witness. Zara threw Noah a mischievous glance that left him uneasy, though he couldn't quite place why. As the evening wore on, the savory scent of grilled kebabs filled the air, and the group gathered for food and drinks. Elijah brought out a strong liquor, and the approving murmurs from the crowd filled the room. Laughter echoed as the drinks flowed, and soon, Zara, clearly tipsy, launched into an odd story. Have you ever heard of an old tradition that guarantees a strong and happy marriage? She slurred, darting playful looks between Amara and Leo. Everyone chuckled as Leo, initially surprised, joined in the laughter. Amara blushed, while Noah kept his icy demeanor, noting dryly that witnesses weren't necessary anymore for marriage registration. Ignoring him, Zara went on, "Well, if Amara and Leo had married earlier, this tradition would have been fulfilled." She laughed loudly, setting off another round of guffaws from the crowd. Amara shot her friend a reproachful glance, but Zara brushed it off with a wave of her hand. Noah, however, wasn't laughing. He leaned toward Amara, quietly asking, "What was that about?" Sighing, Amara admitted under her breath, "Leo, he was my first boyfriend. We dated briefly at university. It was nothing serious." Noah's mood darkened instantly. "You could have told me," he muttered angrily. Amara defended herself. "How was I supposed to know he'd be here? And why would I bring up something so irrelevant?" Back home, tension filled the car. Noah seethed with anger. Amara, tired and annoyed, finally snapped, "I love you, Noah." That was ancient history. Let it go. Gradually, the argument cooled, though the lingering unease remained. As July approached, Amara busied herself with wedding plans while Noah threw himself into work, trying to focus on their upcoming vacation. A week before the wedding, Amara attended Zara's bachelorette party, promising Noah she'd be back before midnight. But midnight came and went. When Noah finally reached her, she answered breathlessly, "I'm on my way." Don't hang up. 15 minutes later, she walked through the door, exhausted. Noah embraced her, though his mind churned with suspicion. I stayed back to discuss decorations with Leo, Amara explained. Noah clenched his fists, hiding his anger. That could have been a phone call, he muttered. Finally, the wedding day arrived. After a photo shoot and a formal ceremony at the registry office, the guests made their way to a grand restaurant outside the city. Noah wasn't thrilled, but he endured it, knowing vacation was just days away. During the lively reception, Noah struck up a valuable conversation with Zara's uncle, a prominent businessman. Absorbed in networking, he failed to notice when Amara slipped away. When he finally looked for her, her purse and phone were still by her chair, but she was gone. A woman nearby teased him. Lost someone? Maybe, he said with a tight smile. Someone mentioned seeing her step outside for fresh air, but when Noah checked the restaurant's grounds, there was no sign of her. Circling the building frantically, he climbed to the balcony, and what he saw made his blood boil. Beyond the trees, in a small clearing, stood Leo, holding Amara's dress. Heart pounding, Noah rushed down the stairs, shedding his jacket and rolling up his sleeves, prepared for a confrontation. Bursting through the trees, he reached them in seconds. A heated confrontation followed. Guests intervened, pulling the two men apart as the women looked on, frightened. Yet, amidst the chaos, Zara smiled, satisfied. It was as if this entire drama had been her plan all along to drive a wedge between Noah and Amara. Noah felt crushed by the betrayal but kept his composure. Their long-awaited vacation was still ahead, and he decided it was time for a clean break. Without a word, he resolved to change the locks to their home and start a new chapter, one without the shadows of the past clouding his future. The taxi ride home was silent. Amara sat on one side, arms folded, staring out the window, while Noah leaned his head back, eyes closed, fists still clenched from the earlier confrontation. He had nothing left to say, at least not yet. When they reached their apartment, Noah calmly paid the driver, unlocked the door, and stepped inside without waiting for Amara. She followed slowly, dragging her heels, feeling the weight of everything crashing down at once. Inside, Noah spoke first, his voice low and dangerously calm. I'm changing the locks tomorrow. Amara's breath caught. Noah, please. Nothing happened. You have to believe me. He turned to face her, eyes cold. I don't know what to believe anymore. The words stung worse than any slap. Amara tried to explain, tried to piece together her side of the story, but Noah had already retreated to the bedroom, packing a small suitcase. By morning, he was gone. For 2 weeks, they didn't speak. Noah checked into a small beachfront hotel, using the vacation days they were supposed to spend together. The sound of the waves crashing against the shore brought him little peace. He threw himself into work calls, reading, and long, solitary walks, trying to make sense of what had happened. Back in the city, Amara tried reaching out. Texts, voicemails, even handwritten letters slipped under the door of his office. But Noah remained silent. Meanwhile, whispers traveled quickly among their circle of friends. Some blamed Noah, others Amara. But one name kept surfacing more often than others: Zara. It turned out Zara had been stirring trouble for months, planting doubts, orchestrating encounters, fueling small fires until they became infernos. Her jealousy of Amara's marriage had run deeper than anyone realized. She hadn't just wanted to break them apart. She had wanted to prove to Amara that she had made a mistake in choosing Noah over anyone else Zara had once approved. Amara, piecing together everything, realized the brutal truth. Her best friend had betrayed her far worse than Noah ever had. One evening, Noah found a letter slipped under his hotel room door. It wasn't another apology or plea. It was something different. Inside, along with a handwritten note from Amara, was a thick envelope filled with screenshots, texts between Zara and Leo, emails from Zara to other friends, mocking Noah, bragging about how easy it was to manipulate Amara, about how she deserved better than a nobody like Noah. The final screenshot hit the hardest. It was a message from Zara to Leo sent a few days before the wedding. Once Amara sees what a mess Noah is at the wedding, she'll finally walk away. She deserves someone exciting, not safe and boring. Help me, and I'll make sure you benefit too. Noah sat in silence for a long time. It wasn't about Leo. It had never been about Leo. It had been about Zara's hatred and Amara's blind trust in the wrong person. When Noah finally returned to the apartment, Amara was there, sitting on the couch holding one of his sweaters. She stood as he entered, her eyes red but determined. "I don't expect you to forgive me overnight," she said quietly. "But I want you to know I cut Zara out of my life. Permanently. I see it now. I see everything she did. And I see how much I hurt you by not protecting what we had." Noah stared at her for a long moment. His heart ached with the memory of their better days, laughing at midnight, planning vacations, sharing stupid jokes no one else understood. Finally, he set down his bag. "I need time, Amara," he said, voice cracking slightly. "I know," she whispered. He didn't leave that night. They sat in silence, side by side on the couch, while the city lights flickered outside. Some betrayals broke people permanently. Others somehow stitched them closer together, scarred but stronger. The weeks that followed were slow and fragile, like learning to walk again after a bad fall. Noah and Amara lived together, but it wasn't quite the same. Not yet. There were awkward breakfasts, silent dinners, and long moments where their eyes would meet, both wanting to speak but neither finding the right words. Trust, once broken, had to be rebuilt brick by brick. One evening after a long day at work, Noah found Amara in the living room surrounded by candles, soft music playing in the background. A homemade dinner was set out, simple but thoughtful. His favorite? Roast chicken with garlic potatoes. Beside his plate sat a small notebook titled Us. Noah hesitated, then sat down and opened it. Inside were pages filled with Amara's handwriting. Stories of their first dates, random jokes they shared, dreams they'd once talked about at 2 a.m. under the covers. Memories Amara had gathered, proof that what they had was real. Bigger than one betrayal. Bigger than Zara's poisonous games. Tears welled up in Noah's eyes, but he blinked them away. "I don't want to lose you," Amara said simply, sitting across from him, her voice barely a whisper. "And I don't want to live in fear anymore." Noah closed the notebook gently. He took her hand across the table, tentative at first, then with more certainty. "We'll build new memories," he said. "One day at a time." Zara, having been cut out of Amara's life, tried one last desperate move. She sent a long, bitter message late one night. It was filled with blame, accusations, and a chilling line. "You'll never be truly happy with him. Deep down, you know it." Amara read the message once, calmly deleted it, and blocked Zara's number. She no longer needed validation from someone who thrived on destruction. For the first time in a long while, Amara felt free. Summer was fading into fall. The beaches were quieter now, the air cooler, the days shorter. But for Noah and Amara, life was just beginning to bloom again. They took small weekend trips, just the two of them. They talked openly, even about uncomfortable things. No more secrets, no more shadows. On one particular evening, while sitting by a quiet lake, Noah turned to Amara with a small, almost shy smile. "Come away with me," he said. "Where?" She laughed, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Does it matter?" "Anywhere. Everywhere. I just want us to start fresh. No baggage, no ghosts." Amara thought for a moment, then nodded. "Okay, let's run away together." They didn't need a fancy wedding or a perfect vacation or anyone else's approval anymore. All they needed was each other and the quiet, fierce promise to never let anyone come between them again. The moral lesson of the story: true loyalty and trust are the foundations of any strong relationship. Betrayal often comes not from strangers, but from those closest to us. Protecting your peace sometimes means letting go of toxic friendships, even if the history is deep. Love survives not because there are no storms, but because two people choose to rebuild, even after the hardest betrayals. Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.